Oh man, so I don't want to use this time to say nothing negative. Uh, had, I'm sorry. I had a video but I had misplaced it, and it was just basically giving, uh, just honor to, uh, certain people. But I do want to, say, like give honor to like even Michael Bean, because like he was one of the ones that like I remember playing like the Funkadelics and stuff like that, in his band. Like we would like sometimes go like him, my mom and myself, and like he may have like sometimes his children or whatever at the time. This is before Tasha was even born. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be a lot of times it'll be Mikey and Clarice or something like that, and we will go like maybe to Bella or something, and he'll be like playing his music, and I just remember that like he was chilled or whatever, and then he'll be sitting on the porch, with a guitar, and so I basically always been surrounded around music. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, of course, plays a part or whatever in your development. Like my development didn't just come because um, I just developed everything on my own. No, I was influenced along the way. Like my auntie Willa Mae Gillen, she used to like have tons and tons and tons of like records, playing like blues music and stuff like that. And I remember like going over to her apartment, and she would be feeding like those that's in the apartment, those that's getting off of work. She had her little uh, mini bar set up, I believe like vodka or something was like her drink or whatever. And, you know, uh, and I remember just coming over her apartment, and then me and my cousins, like my grandmother, Ali Mae Cully, she used to, would take us over there to visit, and she'd try to like give us all a kiss, and she used to have these like big sloppy kisses, and I used to be like, oh my goodness, and I would run, and it almost became like a game to me. You know what I'm saying? That every time I went over her apartment, I will run from, her trying to give me a kiss on my cheek. You know what I'm saying? So she'll chase me around. So it became like a game or whatever to me, But like, she would be playing her blues music, and I'm telling you, she had tons and tons and tons of records. She loved the blues. And my auntie Betty Brown, like she had a bar in her basement, and she had records on top of records on top of records of blues music. And I can't necessarily say that I really took to the blues when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't not like it. I like the atmospheres when they would be having gatherings, and the music would be playing. And like my uncle Johnny, he introduced me more so to like hip hop, because like in the 80s and stuff when hip hop like first started, I remember like it would be this guy on our street, and he'd be like break dancing and stuff, on the cardboard box, and like my uncle, he had like tapes, cassette tapes and stuff of like the different hip hop artists like LL, and like he used to play like LL a whole lot, like the Walking with the Panther tape, and who else? The Run DMC, like mainstream artists that I really recall, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he had like basically everybody you could think of, And so like he was always playing it, and then he was playing that live or whatever. He'd be in his room at the time when we were all living together, and he had, so hip hop music, and then his group of people they played like hip hop music. And so my mom, she sung like in the choir and different things like that. So she would play like the Caravans and Mahalia Jackson and different ones, different people um, of that nature. That's what I remember through her. And my auntie my auntie D, she had like good musical taste to me. She'll play like people like Cameo and different things like that. I remember like, being in her car and like my aunts, they love like Luther Vandross and people like that. And then even the Smileys, like they had great musical taste, so they was always playing music. You know what I'm saying? So like I was always surrounded around music. So even before like I came into like the church, you know, like you know, and different things, I already had like an extensive knowledge of like music just through the people that was surrounded around me. And like back in the day, Detroit, like you just would hear music everywhere. Like people be bumping it in their cars, driving down the street. There, you would hear people with boom boxes, stereos, and all of that. So music was always like a big thing. In Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Like Motown definitely was being played basically everywhere. And I remember one of the first songs that I used to sing was I was like the Supremes, and I used to always sing "Stop in the Neighborhood" instead of "Stop in the Name of Love," because I really thought, like when you're younger, sometimes you hear things differently. So I used to be like, "Stop in the neighborhood," and my mother would just laugh, and she would have me like sing the song, and she wasn't like teasing me or anything like that. It was just like so funny because, and I didn't even look at it as if she was teasing me. It was just like it was a funny thing because I really thought that Diana Ross was in "Stop in the Neighborhood." So those are like some of my memories as far as like with music. Then I went to a musical ministries. I guess we went to different ministries, but like some my memorization like Solomon's Temple, they didn't really stick out at the time musically, but they did have a great choir. And I know my mom, she sung in that choir at times, and then I went to the Fosters, and they had like a great they had like a great choir, who was directed by Cheryl Goodman, and I sung in the choir for years, you know, in hopes to one day direct the choir, but I didn't, like stay there long enough to get to that point. But and I did like a little bit of singing with on the praise team, and they had a good solid praise team, directed mainly by like Antonio Foster. Um, Look, he started off he could not sing when he was like younger, but then like as he began to just keep working at it and develop it, he really actually got really good. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing going on like the keyboards. Like he just kept, like going and becoming better, and if you really couldn't sing or like Bishop Foster was not allowing you to like, what I'm saying, like get up and tear his, like you could do it like, sing or whatever, like, hey, get in the choir or something like that, but you're not about to like be leading, and that's not really your your area. So he's like a stickler about like keeping people in their areas. So when I went to like um high praise, which was I guess kingdom culture, like I you know was more so like I guess like a supporter or Dietrich and Voices of Unity because like a lot of times at the Fosters, they were like singing a lot of their music. Um, so, I became more so like, oh, Dietrich and Demita, you know what I'm saying? It's like the celebrities or whatever, somewhat to us. But I wasn't more so, I guess like in the beginning, I was kind of a little starstruck because like I followed their music so much, you know what I'm saying? But then after a while, it wasn't even like that. But like, I really like as far as like getting into church because I didn't really like a lot of gospel music. So Dietrich had a style that I like more so took to because and some people may call it sacrilegious because it's a mixture of more like R&B ish type, but like his earlier music to me was like really really powerful, and so that was like the music that was like the basis of, outside of the ones that I took to that was being played on the radio, like Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams and Mary and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because those people were like mainstream. And I know people give like artists a challenge, when they are like versatile or mainstream, but those were some of the ones that was ministering to me and low points and others because it was being played in a club. And some people may say like, oh, talk about gospel music and different music not being able to mix. But I'm telling you, like people did respect the gospel artists because I literally remember being on the dance floor and people literally taking that time out. Not that they had to, but they would just get off of the dance floor, and it wasn't like I'm getting off because this music is whack. No, they'll get and they'll just kind of sit down and then vibe to like those songs or whatever, and it would touch certain people because people, be going through wherever, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that that was like a good time, when you heard more musical, like gospel artists being infused on like the radio stations. Like, don't get me wrong, like you had the Winans and different things who broke many barriers, you know what I'm saying? Like, uh, what's that? Addictive love or something like that. I'm lost and I'm lost without you. And all of those, like the Clark sisters, you brought me sunshine. All of those, like broke barriers, but I feel like Kurt Franklin really, broke through because you know. And then he had like Stuck, one of my favorite childhood groups, Salt and Pepper. But Salt, she was doing the song on that, the hook. I mean, the rap verse on that. So yeah, that's a little bit of my background as far as like musical. And so it was kind of crazy